Welcome to ABX Reviews. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a powerful and tense episode of Genesis, where secrets, family pressure, and the pursuit of dreams collide in some really dramatic ways. We see characters wrestling with guilt, others plotting for a better future, and some just trying to hold their families together. Let's break down the key moments from this episode into 10 major scenes. Scene 1, an attempt at reconciliation. The episode opens with a man, who seems to be named Gigabar, speaking to a woman named Felicia. He is apologizing and asking for forgiveness, stating he feels much better after talking. He acknowledges she needs to speak to someone professional about her trauma and mentions there is someone in town who can help, but not today because he has back-to-back meetings with a new artist. Felicia challenges him, asking if he thinks these meetings are more important than what he did. He relents, promises to make time to fix things, and calls her my love, also mentioning the kids. Character motivation. Gigabar is motivated by guilt and a desire to repair a damaged relationship. He recognizes the need for professional help but is still prioritizing his career, showing an internal conflict. Scene analysis. This is a classic setup of work-life balance crumbling under the weight of a past mistake. The tension is palpable as his professional ambition clashes with clear personal obligations. Deeper issues explored. This scene explores themes of guilt, the aftermath of trauma, and the challenge of genuine reconciliation within a family unit. Scene 2, a tense manager meeting. Two men, one named Ish and the other his manager, are talking. The manager is excited, saying Ish hit the jackpot with a talented girl, but she scared them by showing up. The manager stresses they can't afford to be caught off guard and discusses image management, insisting they need to appear appreciative to avoid being labeled as difficult. They agree they need to be smart. Character analysis. The manager is pragmatic and image-conscious, focused on controlling the narrative and leveraging Ish's opportunity. He is the strategic business mind to Ish's artistic talent. How characters impact the story. This scene shifts the focus to the music business, showing the calculated planning behind an artist's rise, which will soon clash with more personal storylines. What I think will happen next, this new, talented girl will become a significant figure, potentially causing conflict or rivalry that tests the manager's plans. Scene 3, a mother's pressure. A girl named Morona is speaking with her mother. Her mother is pushing her to be ready for tonight with someone named Bonko, giving her specific instructions on how to act, to balance showing she wants him but afterwards pretend to be shy and embarrassed. She even instructs Morona to use food coloring on the sheets later. Morona is hesitant and says it doesn't feel right. Betrayal. The mother is betraying her daughter's well-being and autonomy, coaching her to deceive Bonko about a deeply personal matter for their own gain. Greed. The mother's entire plan is fueled by financial greed. She sees her daughter's relationship as a direct ticket to financial freedom. My reaction to the scene. This is a deeply unsettling scene. The mother's manipulation is shocking, treating her daughter's personal life as a transactional scheme. Scene 4, sibling confrontation. Morona's sister, Mpumi, confronts her. Mpumi calls Morona and their mother scammers for their plan against Bonko. She says Bonko loves Morona, but they are busy with evil plans. Morona defends herself, saying it's her life. Mpumi retorts that when she needed help, Morona wasn't there for her, implying a deep history of selfishness. Lessons learned. This confrontation exposes the toxic dynamics in the family. Mpumi represents the moral conscience, highlighting the cost of their schemes on real relationships and trust. Character development. Mpumi is developing into a voice of reason and consequence. Her anger shows she is impacted by the family's actions and is no longer willing to stay silent. Is the story strong? This argument strengthens the story by introducing internal family conflict. It's not just about deceiving an outsider, the deception is rotting the family from within. Scene 5, a vocal discovery. At what seems to be a studio, a man named Masizi is coaching a young man, likely Ishmael, through vocal exercises. Ishmael is impatient to sing. Masizi gives him a song to try. Ishmael sings, and his talent stuns everyone. Masizi exclaims he is hiding such great talent and is gifted by God himself. Character analysis: Ishmael is revealed to be the jackpot talent from Scene 2. His impatience shows his eagerness, while the reaction of others confirms his exceptional, raw ability. How characters impact the story: Ishmael's validated talent is the catalyst for the business maneuvering in Scene 2. He is the asset everyone wants to manage and profit from. Deeper issues explored: this touches on the discovery of potential and the beginning of a dream, which is now vulnerable to being exploited by those around him. Scene 6, a manager's warning. The manager from Scene 2 speaks to another young man named Festus, who is friends with Ishmael. The manager says people close to artists often become their downfall. He tells Festus to make sure Ishmael stays focused and away from bad influences, and most importantly, to push for them to get a contract from Festus's dad. Betrayal: the manager is subtly asking Festus to potentially betray his friend's trust by prioritizing the manager's business agenda, getting a contract, over pure friendship. Character motivation: the manager's motivation is purely business success. He is using Festus's friendship as a tool to control Ishmael's environment and advance his career. What I think will happen next: Festus will be caught in a loyalty bind between his powerful father, his ambitious manager, and his best friend Ishmael. Scene 7, a daughter's accusation. Mpumi confronts her mother directly, calling her out for selling her children for a soft life. She says everything is about money and makes a sharp analogy that if they were bananas, their mother would sell them. The mother defends herself, saying they are not just doing it for Morona but for all of them, for financial freedom. Greed: the mother's greed is laid bare by her own daughter. Mpumi frames it not as strategy, but as a cold, transactional betrayal of motherhood. Deeper issues explored: this explores the corrosive effect of putting wealth above family bonds. The mother has rationalized her manipulation as providing for her children, but Mpumi sees it as a fundamental corruption of their relationship. My reaction to the scene: Mpumi's banana analogy is brutally effective. It reduces the mother's scheme to its crude, dehumanizing core, making the mother's actions impossible to romanticize. Scene 8, a promise between lovers. Morona is with Bonko. He expresses his desire for her, but she reminds him of their pledge to wait until marriage so their future children would know their parents waited. Bonko agrees, though he finds it difficult, and promises that as soon as they are married, they will be together. He decides to leave because he can't trust himself to stay over. Character motivation: Bonko is motivated by love and a desire to honor a shared promise, showing integrity and respect. Morona is using this pledge as a shield, her motivation complicated by her mother's scheme. Scene analysis: this scene is filled with dramatic irony. We see Bonko's genuine, respectful love, which makes Morona's deception, hinted at in Scene 3, feel even more tragic and wrong. How characters impact the story: Bonko's decency raises the stakes. The audience is made to care about him, so the potential fallout from the deception becomes a major source of tension. Scene 9, therapy and gratitude. Gigaba returns home to Felicia. He shares that his therapy session went well, that it was hard to talk about his feelings but he did, and it has changed his life. He thanks her for pushing him to go, calling her his strong woman. Lessons learned: Gigaba is learning the importance of confronting his emotions and taking accountability. This is a positive step in his character arc towards healing. Character development: this shows significant development for Gigaba. He is moving from avoidance and guilt towards active participation in his own emotional recovery and in fixing his marriage. Is the story predictable? This turn towards therapy is a surprising and mature plot point. It avoids melodrama and offers a realistic path to resolution for this couple's struggles. Scene 10, a request for company. In a brief moment, one character pleads with another not to go, saying they can't sleep alone tonight. This shows a vulnerability and need for comfort, contrasting with the many scenes of manipulation and business. Scene analysis: this small, intimate moment highlights the universal need for security and companionship amidst all the surrounding chaos and plotting. Deeper issues explored: it subtly touches on themes of loneliness and the human need for connection, which is what many of the flawed characters are ultimately seeking, albeit through harmful means. How characters impact the story. These moments of genuine vulnerability make the characters more rounded and remind us that beneath the schemes, they are people with fears and needs. That's the deep dive for this episode of Genesis. The threads are pulling tighter: the musical dreams, the family scheme, the struggling marriage, and the moral confrontations. What did you think will happen with Morona and Bonko? And will Ishmael's talent be a blessing or a curse? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.